Hey everybody, it's GobletX, and welcome back to another Arena Cube draft. Without further ado, let's get into the Pack 1 Pick 1. Birds of Paradise is on Arena now. Came out with the special guest cards in Bloomborough, which is pretty sweet, so that would be a really nice pickup, nice and early. But Grenzo Crooked Jailer has the incredibly busted alchemy mechanic of Heist, where you get to pick one card out of three non-land cards from your opponent's deck at random to put into your hand. And Grenzo is particularly busted with it because when you have those heisted cards from Grenzo, you can cast them for free, which is really, really, really gross. And it triggers off of the enter the battlefield effect too, so Grenzo is one of the strongest cards in the whole cube and a really easy way to start this off. There's really not much to follow up Grenzo when it comes to Rakdos, so we could just take a powerful card in general, moving towards some multicolored mush like Essica's Chariot here, being a super powerful green spell. For good mana cost, you don't have to be playing a ramp deck like you need to be for Craterhoof Behemoth. Start heading towards Jund. But I think the best, most flexible pick here is likely just the fetch land. You want to take these relatively highly in the format, as well as the dual lands that have basic land types, because then you can turn pretty much any fetch land into any color under the sun. You can turn your Scalding Tarn into like a black-red-green land if you have those. You can turn it into a blue-black land, a red-white land. As long as you've drafted the duals to go with it, this can be really, really good fixing. So I'm going to grab the Scalding Tarn there, and since it does touch red, one of Grenzo's colors, it is worth playing. If this just said, sack, search for a mountain, put it onto the battlefield, it would maybe be the pick there because we're going to be drafting some red duals. So pick 3. If we want to get super aggressive, there's an Embercleave, but I only really recommend that for like mono red or a super, super aggressive Rakdos build. Grenzo is a much grindier, kind of late game sort of card. Embercleave is better for the decks that don't have any 6-drops in them, that stop the curve at like 4, maybe 5 mana. But it is generically powerful. We could take another generically powerful 6-drop, but there are plenty of those. You don't end up with too many copies because there are more aggressive decks in the cube. You want to be able to block early and everything. And Marionette Apprentice could be a good start to that. Pretty great triggered abilities here. Rakdos Sacrifice is certainly always a bit of a thing, as you can tell with Ran as well. I like the Marionette Apprentice here. Nice little roadblock. Buy us time to get up to Grenzo mana values. Pick 4. Ooh, the Razor Demon we can try out. 3 mana, 7/7 flyer. Gives them one of these cards. So it gives them a card back, but if you play this on turn 3, then Ever After is just really bad, so they have to cast like Demonic Pact or Demonic Bargain if it's in your opening hand. Yeah, this feels like a card that is incredibly powerful in your opening hand, but then very bad if you draw it later. I think we take this. I just hope to have it in our opening hand, because that's a pretty sweet one, and a pretty fun one. Pick 5. Gearhulk's always great. Move towards some Grixis control, but Razor Demon's actually quite aggressive, and Marionette Apprentice wants a lot of creatures in the deck. Not the best combo ever. Fabled Passage is fixing for any deck. Doesn't really work well till you have 4 lands on board, but at that point you just turn it into whatever land you need. Yeah, I like Passage or the Gearhulk here. Garden is actually in contention as well, because off of Scalding Tarn, now the Scalding Tarn can turn into a red-green-white source. It's just the fact that every spell we've taken so far is black, so we're kind of far away to these colors, like caring about that. I'll just grab the Fabled Passage. Pick 6, there's Tenacious Underdog. That works great with the Marionette Apprentice. Works great towards Rakdos Sack. I like Fel the Propane as well, and Wooded Foothills. Those are all awesome picks. Actually go with the Wooded Foothills. I'm just going to take fetches really, really highly for how good they are at fixing. Jadar is perfect. Perfect for Rakdos Sack. Passing up on removal for him. No souls here, but I think there's more efficient removal than that in the cube. And Jadar is just really good with cards like Marionette Apprentice. Chandra's also pretty good. But again, we already have one of the really good 6-drops. Can't run a million copies. Okay, so Sheoldred is an Edict effect, a removal spell attached to a 4/5 body, which is pretty great. I could certainly see an argument for Unholy Heat over Shieldred, because we really need a lot of those cheap, efficient removal spells. But I am quite a big fan of the 2-for-1 removal plus big creature kind of cards, and Shieldred fits that bill, and now we'll start taking some nice removal like Bitter Triumph. Bastion of Remembrance works fine for what is turning into somewhat of a Rakdos sack deck here. Vran works great for Rakdos sack, and we've got a really clear direction here. It's going to be a nice, simple draft for this one. We do need to get some of our Rakdos duels, though. I passed up on one of those. But off of a single Rakdos duel, we would immediately have 3 in the deck, because if we draw any of the fetches, we turn into a Rakdos duel. And once we have one on board, these just being a mountain is fine. It's just the fact that now, if we draw this, or the Rakdos dual land first, we'll have access to red and black off of just one land. That's what makes the fetches so good. And you can take them really early in draft, because even when you haven't decided your colors, it's really easy for these to end up grabbing an on-color dual land for whatever color pair you end up being. Nothing here, pick 13. Maybe we end up playing a little white. The Underdog and the Fell came back? Dream Rakdos Pod. Last pick Fell. That's kind of depressing. I like that card a lot. Kolaghan's Command. Goldspan Dragon, Shieldred's Edict. So we take the Goldspan Dragon, and we know, based on the ending of the first pack, that Edict or Kolaghan's Command is going to come back. I prefer to get Kolaghan's Command back, but there could be a Rakdos player that's just much deeper into red than black. I don't see any world in which neither of these comes back based on the ending of the first pack. But Goldspan Dragon's going to get taken by aggressive red players, so we take the dragon and wheel one of these great cards. That feels pretty good. Pack 2, pick 2, Bone Crusher Giant, Fell, Sorin. These are all really great cards. Gix's Command if we want to get a little bit more defensive and mid-rangey. It's kind of a board wipe, potentially. I really like the 2-for-1 removal plus creatures you can get out of Bone Crusher Giant, similar to Shieldred. Love to get a Fell back, but again, black was open enough. We should get something perfectly viable back out of this pack when it comes back to us. So let's grab the Bone Crusher. Pick 3. Let's go. Efficient removal. 1 mana deal 3. We'll take it. Grab a Strangle here. Get a Tiny Bones or a Gix back. Or a Murderous Rider. Because black is very open here. Pick 4. I like Cut Down, Nowhere to Run, and Drown in Ichor. Those are all good removal spells. Emperor of Bones. Decent aggressive graveyard recursion. Only brings things back the one time. But gets a lot of damage in when it does. Dragon's Rage Channeler's fun, working towards Delirium. I imagine we're just taking efficient removal again. Cut Down versus Nowhere to Run. Suppose Nowhere to Run's a little more flexible, a little more expensive too, though. Pick 5. Godric or Bloodthirsty Adversary. I'd rather take the Adversary here. The problem with that, though, is that it doesn't work with Nowhere to Run. So now I wish I just took Cut Down to actually have more instants and sorceries to maybe recast off of a 5-mana Adversary. Pick 6. More good removal. Lonely End. We've also got a Crabomination for another great finisher like the Grenzo here. I think we're really good at surviving till later mana costs. A little bit of treasure token ramp potentially too. I'm really into the Crabomination. It's a super fun finisher, but this is where we really decide if we're the more aggressive or more grindy version of the deck. More aggressive, the Robber of the Rich is going to be fantastic. More grindy, Crabomination or removal is going to be great here. I think I want to grind things out, get to some high mana values. I'm taking the Crab. Pick 7. Pylon, Cruelty of Gix, and Legion Warboss are all spectacular. Let's take the cruelty here. Going big with this deck. Pick 8. 2 non-creature spells in 1 turn to get a Mox Sapphire. Also flashback your stuff. It's pretty fun. Cult Conscript is just definitely good though for sack nonsense. Take that. We don't really have any ways to sacrifice our stuff yet. We just have a bunch of things triggering when they die. Got the Sorin back. Yeah, Sorin's just generically good even without other life gain. 1/4 lifelink extort. If you cast an extort 2 spells alongside the Sorin, you can flip him off his own ability. Tiny Bones or Volcanic Spine? Let's go Tiny Bones here. Looks like we're way deeper black than red. We might be able to go deep enough into black here. We just splash in a Grenzo. And if we open up something really fun in some other color, we could still do that. I've got the Adversary here to recast something like Drown and Ichor. Emperor is definitely good, but like the recasting of removal that the Ichor can do for us. I'm still looking for a little bit more removal there. More ramp with Cold Steel Heart, which I might genuinely play here with a bunch of 5s and 6s. The other thing that's really cool about these mana rocks is that you can emerge a Crabomination off of them and cast a crab for only 5 instead of 6 by sacking a 2 mana artifact when you play it. Heisting an opponent's library is pretty dang good. We could play the Furnace and try to splash into Steaming Sauna if I draft a bunch of blue duels, but it's getting late in the draft to actually get the duels we're looking for. I've passed up on a lot of opportunities here. Alright, pack 3, pick 1, 2-for-1, removal on a stick creature, my favorite kind of creature. Glorybringer it is. Again, the more aggressive build of this deck could take Stormseeker, but we're going a little grindier and a little more top-heavy, especially with the 2 mana rocks towards the 5s and 6s. Probably end up cutting some of the early aggressive cards and synergy cards and stuff and just becoming generic mid-range good stuff. Lots of removal and good finishers. Pack 3, pick 2. Well, this is a beautiful card. Harvester of Misery. Very similar to the Trumpeting Carnosaur, actually. Oh, and Goblin Bombardment for sacrifice. So I really like the Harvester of Misery and the Trumpeting Carnosaur, because these are both spells we can use as removal in the early game, but then we can also use as a big bomb later. The Harvester of Misery, a potential board wipe with the ETB, and the Carnosaur, a big 2-for-1, 7/6 trample, another spell for free. So these are both awesome. Awesome cards here. But I think I'm going to go for the Harvester. Because it's not going to wheel. It's the only black card in the pack. So we're not going to wheel anything we want here. Maybe we'll wheel Goblin Bombardment. Although, again, I'm going to start probably cutting down on all this energy. Oof! Damnation? We're slow enough to be a Damnation deck. Sure. Damnation. Somebody take the Lightning Strike. We wheel one of these two for more good removal. Full Rakdos control deck here. And I've spent so many picks not taking duels that I think these fetch lands aren't even going to be a thing. Perforator Crocodile is very good. Stab Wound your opponent's whole board. Another good finisher. Pick 5. Lots of great cards here. Chandra is removal and then a card draw engine. Abrade and Fatal Push are very efficient removal, and Gear Hulk is removal plus a creature immediately. Overlord's also pretty good. Mill 4, pick up what you want. These are really good cards. I'm gonna go for Chandra. She's an absolute classic. Alright, we got a red-black duel. Sorry, Kalidas. 1 Zayator's Proving Ground immediately turns both of our fetch lands into Rakdos dual lands. We just play them, crack it, get the Rakdos duel. And that's kind of a big deal here. So we'll do that. Alright, pick 7. I don't think I play any of this, but Ophiomancer is theoretically great in a sacrifice deck because you replace your snake every single turn. So Goblin Bombardment Ophiomancer goes kind of hard. Bloodsoaked Champion's another card that keeps coming back for sacrifice. Forsaken Miner can keep coming back when we target our opponent, which we can do with Goblin Bombardment. Wait, Goblin Bombardment Forsaken Miner is crazy, right? 1 black mana ping our opponent over and over and over and over. I'm actually not sure how that works. If the Forsaken Miner's on our board and we sack it to the bombardment to target our opponent, will it be in graveyard in time to see us committing a crime to spend the black to return it? I'm not sure. That would be very fun to find out. Rakdos, Sakdos control, get the long goodbye to wheel back to us. I'm not even sure we're going to find that out, because again, we're going to probably cut down on a lot of sack synergies to just be a good grindy control deck in general with multiple board wipe abilities, Harvester, Perforator, Damnation kind of stuff. So cut down a lot on the creature count, which means we want to cut down on some of the cards that want us to be having creatures die over and over, like Vran and Bastion and stuff like that. Yeah, we're kind of going to just turn into black-red control here without the sack stuff really going on, so I don't think we're going to figure out the Forsaken Miner thing, because we really don't want creatures that can't block in this deck. But I do want a Gear Hulk. Was that better to play than the Mind Stone here? I have enough good 5s and 6s to just not take the Gear Hulk. I think I do. I'm going to take Mind Stone. All ramp. So 3 2-mana mana rocks that can lead into a turn 5 crab is quite fun. Got to cut 11 cards, and it's going to be a lot of the aggro cards, the sacrifice cards, to become a control deck here. Just fully. Ophiomancer's still kind of a control-y card. And Tiny Bones can be a Death Touchy blocker at least. Okay, Champion can't block, we don't want that. Definitely want all the top end. Bastion, not so much. Bombardment, not so much. I'm even super impressed with like Underdog here. Still 5 cuts to go. Man. One final cut. Maybe with 3 2-mana mana rocks I can cut 1 land here. Try that out. 1 mana looks like for the cut. Beautiful. Yeah. Got a really nice Rakdos control deck here with Damnation and 2 other ways to pseudo-wipe the board, a Harvester of Misery and a Perforator Crocodile, and then just a bunch of really good 5 and 6 mana value cards to take over the game. 3 ways to ramp into all those cards, tons of removal, some nice 2-for-1s. Looks like a very fun, very interesting deck today, and we'll see how it plays out for us as we head into the gameplay. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 1. The keep thanks to our fetches. Wait, what did I just exile here? Oh, Crashing Footfalls? That's a problem. Good thing we've got a Damnation after that resolves. But the cards get haste, don't they? With the Footfalls? Or is that just because when you cascade into it with the thing that gives plus and plus haste, they get haste? Yeah, that's just because people cascade into it. Okay. They don't actually have haste. That's good. Drop Sorin. Get a little bit of life gain going in the early game here. Okay. Or draw some cards off these map tokens. Works too. There's Chandra. Really need some lands, but I can't crack the maps unless I have a creature on board, so we gotta play Ophiomancer. In Grave Expectations, the high stability does not draw lands ever. It always draws non-lands of your choice. Alright, Fabled Passage. Finding a Plains. And the 4-drop is Warren Warleader. Stamination is going to be awesome. We need to hit a land for it, though. We need a black source, so we need to explore. Perfect. Shall we do it again? Think so. I could attack, then they take one, but then I don't replace this unless the snake dies, so I don't want to attack here. Just explore again and pass. Cold Steel Heart. Gets me to Crabomination and Shieldred and everything. The turn after Indemnation. I guess lands do that too. Yeah, just get closer to the land there. Because we're going to spend next turn casting Damnation anyway, so I can't cast the Mana Rock next turn. It'll be 2 turns till I'm even casting the Mana Rock. At which point, probably just drawing a land if I mill that. 1 land the next 2 draw steps. Alright, well this is game. Damnation and GG. Let's heist them first. Timeless Witness to pick up Damnation. Sure. Could technically have Heroic Intervention if that's in the cube. But if they do, I kind of die even if I don't hold up the blockers. Or even if I do hold up the blockers. Because they'll still die. So I still get the damage in. Pest Infestation. 4 1/1s have arrived. Harvester of Misery. 4 1/1s have died. This deck is the greatest. I mean, this matchup is just really good. If your opponent is just on all creatures of the deck, they're going to have a really bad time. Okay, set up the Porcelain Gallery. Got it. They're not going to have any cards sitting in their hand at this point, so I'm just going to Crabomination them for a random card from top or grave. We're never going to find an opportunity where they're going to still have something left in hand. Alright, Evangelist. They are dead next turn. Spithy's pretty cool, but they're still definitely dead here. But just to make sure, we'll Bone Crush. That is firmly lethal. Starting things off 1-0, heading to game 2. Another keeper thanks to the fetch here. Triple back on Crocodile is going to be awkward, but it's got that cycling ability for a reason. If we don't get anywhere near that, we'll cycle it away. See what we get to heist here. Avacyn's Pilgrim, turn 1. Alright. Manadork, turn 1 on the play. Seems very good. We're gonna have 3 mana here while I'm sitting on my 1. Bitter Triumph, sure. Cool card.
I tire of adults pretending they know how to fix everything.
Oh boy. Well, we can find the black sources towards Perforator Crocodile. It's got some pretty good targets now. Need to double extort if I want to flip Sorin. How do I set that up? Grave Expectations plus a black. I'm just not going to have the black mana to double extort regardless. Yeah, so we'll just get the mana rock down here. Well, I guess I can just Grave Expectations without exiling anything. It's kind of a thing. Hey. Hello, Black Source. Very useful. 3 mana after this is going to be a no extort so that I can Ophiomancer this turn. Sure. So Ophiomancer does seem very good against green. But yeah, I'm no longer worried about any extort shenanigans because I can just flip a Sorin off of Grave Expectations if there's ever a point where that looks worth it. And that would be 4 life gained. I gained 3 off of this and 1 off of the extort, so I can do 4 damage with the -1. So turn Grave Expectations into a 4 damage removal spell. 4 is not anywhere near 6. So Prime Time is going to be doing things, that's for sure. I suppose if we get the source for Perforator Crocodile, a flipped Sorin can deal with a stab wounded Prime Time. We did get pretty lucky here, hitting the Perforator Crocodile. So yeah, I can Grave Expectations, Sorin flip, kill Prime Time next turn off of that. Already got the 6/5 blocker for the 4/4 Prime Time, so I think I poke for 1, but that might be extra bold. Maybe it's better to just keep the Death Toucher up alongside the Perforator. Crabominum. Well, it's pretty bad if they hit Chandra, but it's also depressing if I hit my other card, because then I don't have the life gain thing. So now I just kill Prime Time with Chandra, instead of getting to do the fancy Sorin flip thing. Okay, it's gonna heist me, right? Yeah. Heist me, find best card out of the random 3 that it gets, and we really hope it's not one of our great finishers, because we've got a lot of those. If it is, that's going to be bad. Don't hit any of my finishers, please. The heck? You got 1 mana up. You gonna Giant Growth to kill my Crocodile? Nope. Just a chump attack. We take those. That feels good. Sending the squad Chandra deal for. Chandra pre-combat for the Extort, but then they know that they can't block. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, no, we don't need to get the 1 Extort here. So they kill Sorin and then I kill Crab. Well, they actually do take the trade. I don't mind that. I'm gonna not Extort so that it's more likely I can actually cast whatever I get off the plus then, since I don't have to minus anymore. Yes, I'll cast a Cold Steel Heart. I should have Fabled Passage first, but whatever. It's another Extort source. Now we got triple red, triple black, actually quadruple black thanks to the heart. This feels good. Hey Shieldred, how's it going? You're not super good for me, but if Chandra sticks around, I'll be fine. I have 0 cards in my hand, so they already know I don't have anything. Okay, long goodbye on the Ophiomancer, sure. Oh, that's what they got off the heist? Not a bad one. Oh, they're just going to kill the Death Touch to try to leave the Shieldred around to win the game. Well, I see the plan. Come on, Chandra, I believe in you. Bring me a shrubbery. And by shrubbery, I mean a good spell. Thank you very much. Appreciate that one. Very cool. Oh, baby. The anti-Shieldred Shieldred. Woo! Flip the Iron Crag and equip that thing. R.I.P. What a crab. Thanks, Chandra. That was pretty sweet. We are 2-0 now, heading into game 3. Alright, game 3 time. Soren likes to keep showing up. I don't mind him. I probably should have just got the tapped swamp out of the way. But technically, if I draw one more land, then Fabled Passage is an untapped land as well. Which was why my brain short-circuited a little bit, and I was like, wait, no, we play Fable turn 4. It's like, no, we could just get it out of the way if I'm not doing anything for 1 anyway. Alright, well, we're definitely making it to Perforator Crocodile. We got the triple black ready. Golgari deck, Elvish Reclaimer. This turn, here's Bone Crusher. Such a cool animation, the whole shadow of the Bone Crusher on the board. It's pretty sick. Pretty happy I played a blocker here. There's Damnation. That is tempting. But I don't think we need to do that yet. Yeah, against 2 creatures and one of mine dies. Yeah, no, let's just set up to have 2 blockers here. And if we're really lucky and they like double spell a couple creatures down, we'll definitely Damnation. But even if they just play 1 more. Alright, well, Gonti is a particularly annoying one since it draws a card when it hits the board. So they're still going to have pretty good value here post Damnation. I play Cruelty now and Damnation next turn. Then right after I board wipe, I reanimate somebody, which is kind of sweet. We get to see exactly what's in their hand. Oh, Aclazot's Titan of Industry. Well, Titan of Industry is a great one to reanimate, but the Aclazot sticks around after a board wipe, which is rough. Aclazot's is still pretty good to reanimate. We'll just mill that. There's 7 mana to get the Titan, so they're quite a ways away from that. Okay, they got a Bitter Triumph from us. They get to draw a card here. What? Oh, this is so good for me. I don't know why they didn't send at least Gonti in. So they could draw the card there. Alright, I mean, we just super win now. We'll have the Grenzo post-wipe to completely take over. Yeah, wipe the board, put an Aclazotz on our board, put a Grenzo on our board. GG. That is a solid draw. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. Not a huge one, though. We're still going to be very far ahead here. Especially if we heist anything good. If we heist removal, then it is just straight up over. We did not. -2/-1 until your next turn. It's a graveyard here. Nothing we want to really pick up that bad. I mean, I'll take Liliana. She's not the biggest deal in the world right now, though.
Soon you'll be left with nothing.
Tarmogoyf? Alright, that's thick. 5/6 Tarmogoyf for 2. That's really cool. Tireless Tracker seems best here. Just go to Value Town. Make the reach creature small enough for Aklazotz to do his thing.
Ability is for the weak.
Definitely not attack with Grenzo, although if I did, I could just minus Liliana. Make them discard the Titan before they have the mana. And see if we draw anything better than these right now. Sure, I'll play a Tiny Bones. I should have just played a pre-combat Goldspan Dragon. That was loose. Should have enough mana to use this now. Big Grenzo. Oh. Grenzo combo with the suspended card. Get to cast the Crashing Footfalls instead of suspend it. Yeah, that was super gross. I was definitely playing pretty wrong there. Like, we should have equipped the Flyer instead of Grenzo. I should have played the Goldspan Dragon there, but just so insanely far ahead from the Damnation. And Rakdos control is doing exactly what we wanted the deck to do, exactly what we built the deck to do. We are board wiping and just turning the corner with some huge value engines. We are 3-0 heading into game 4. All right, nice start here. Quick one. Got a Crabomination for only 5 mana, plus the Cold Steel Heart to ramp into it, so that's a turn 4 Crabomination. This will be our second red source for the Glorybringer. Scalding Tarn for the first red source. Or the other way around, however you want to call it. Okay. I need to get specifically a mountain here, so I can be incredibly rude and cast their own underdog against them. Let's go, Tiny Bones. Thief of the 3/2 man. Penguin Evangelist. Battlecry, get it back. That is the 5th mana we need to Crab or Glorybringer. Crab feels... Well, they don't have anything in Graveyard right now, but a random card from hand plus the top of their library, Crab's still going to be a massive deal. I guess if I Crab, though, I'm sacking a mana source, and I don't want to sack the mana source yet, because then I won't be able to play the Glorybringer the next turn, so we actually are not on Crab. Yeah, let's pop the Battlecry thing. They could double token underdog if they want. Get it back in their grave. That's fine. Fear of Ridicule. I don't mind just popping that. They got a 1-drop engrave. They do not have a 1-drop engrave. So won't be able to cast anything off of Tiny Bones this turn, but still dealing with this before it damages me does feel good.
I'm the best fire starter there is.
They've got 5 mana up now. They could definitely have their own Damnation, but then we have a Chandra just chilling. Sunfall would also be really bad. That's another board wipe. Board wipe, and they'd have a 2/2 egg. But the Crabomination here means we've got a way to make just a bunch of nonsense happen. even with an empty board. Alright, Elspeth conquers who? Elspeth conquers Glorybringer. Sure. Let's find out what the crab's got for us. Or should I? I guess I should find out what Chandra has first. I don't know if it matters too much.
It'll be easy.
Yeah, I'd rather play a crab than that. Oh, those hits were not good. I guess Evangelist is fine. Oh, I'm so dumb. Our deck's too good. I'm doing the wrong thing. I was like, yeah, we just had the freest Tiny Bones ever. So maybe it was just like not... Don't cast the card off of Chandra. Or the Carbomination. Just get the free cast there. Let's see. 5, 6, 79, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, that's lethal. That's lethal. Just attack with everybody. And that is 4-0 now. As we head into game number 5, if we win this next game, then we are guaranteed in the money out of this draft. All right, our first mulligan here. Well, this is also awkward. They're both double red cards too. Mold of 5 we go. That is not an ideal start, but a board wipe can still do its best to make up for lost time here. This is a tragic beginning to this game. Okay, can deal with that pretty easily, multiple ways. Just gonna let it hang out for now, I think, because if we get to the 5 for Harvester, clear that out along with other cards. We're at 4 in hand here. Gotta read the minds. I'm like, what was a Vault Tech ball doing here? Shut up, I like Fallout. Don't worry about it. Exile my Mind Stone. That's rude. You have to tap it to get the mana out of it, so I can't do anything about that. Ugh. Yeah, that's really gross. Because we really needed to get to the 5 for Harvester. Harvester's still looking incredibly good on their board, so I think I'm passing holding Bitter Triumph for anything they play with more than 2 toughness. And we just really want to hit land. Specifically, a red source would be great with Chandra in hand. That was a weird sequencing. I could have gotten the perpetual buffs off that thing. Alright, I need to just kill that for sure. I think that's the scariest card. Yeah, I even had to discard a Goldspan Dragon there, be on the mold of 4 basically. Alright, we kind of look dead. I seek an artifact when I kill that, so I get another one of my mana rocks back if I kill Banisher, but it just goes to my hand, not the board. Yeah, that's a really good card, the Banisher. Bummer, I kind of have to. Just missing too many lands. Guaranteed mana rock is helpful. And that'll be the next red source as well. Yeah, huge. Huge stuff. Hope they try to cast a reanimation spell so I can gain some life here instead of just having to heist them. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I can't even play Chandra next turn. Oh, no. It's Liliana or Ossification. Liliana costs me 4. Sack Priest and then attack Liliana. Yeah, if I don't hit a land drop, Liliana's going to be pretty much as good as Ossification. Unless they play another threat, then Ossification would be better. So we can kill the specific threat we want to kill. No! Oh, they're killing all my mana rocks. No! We would have been able to cast Ossification here. I was not expecting them to have 2 ways to kill a mana rock in black-white of all colors. God dang it. This is brutal. I'm already on a mold to 5. Have mercy. Opponent says nope. There goes Priest of Forgotten Gods. At least...
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault.
I sack Thalia. Okay, that's not a good sign. Means they've got a big non-creature spell to play. Yep, go to 6.
Delay, nothing more.
Are we still in here, or do you have removal? Probably have removal. They still have 2 cards left. Go to 3. Man. After all that, they're still only like 1 or 2 cards ahead here. Because as soon as I pop Apparition, the Priest can't get attacks in anymore. Alright, I mean, we do lose, but after everything that went wrong, especially with the mold to 5, that was still a pretty good showing for just a nasty little mold to 5. Technically here, it is better to just play the Chandra and try to kill the Apparition, but I want to send a message here. Okay, well I guess it played the same way. They had exactly Swords to Plowshares. Either way, we barely survived this turn. I wanted to send a message and jam in for some damage, and they reversed that message on me. They're like, no, you can't do that. Well, they've got a board wipe out of 3 cards. Put me to 1 with the Priest. Sure. No, I guess. Yeah, it does kill the grunts. I forgot this makes me sack a creature too. So yeah, it doesn't matter even if they did have one. And they don't. Alright. Terrible mold. And still, I think if we hit our lands slightly faster there, that was still a real game of Magic, so. Bad showing that game, but not a bad showing for the power level of the deck in general. We are 4-1, heading into game 6. Alright, here we go. Nice full 7-card hand. Excellent mana. Easy start here. Easy keep. We've even got the triple black for Perforator Crocodile when we get to enough mana. Is blue, white, black over there? Blue, green, white over there. There's Toby. Ooh, another mana rock. I like that. Do that and the long goodbye. Say goodbye to the beast token. Shoulder makes them sack the Toby next turn. They can't counter this. Okay. They can counter Shieldred, and Shieldred's going to do basically the same thing as Bone Crusher. So I guess I'd rather Bone Crusher. Shieldred is kill Toby, get a 4-5 menace. Bone Crusher is kill Toby, get a 4-3. If they're close enough, I'll go for the slightly weaker card in case of a counter. Alright. That actually worked really well for us, because they couldn't even counter the Bone Crusher, because we had more than 3 up when we cast Stomp. So they couldn't counter the removal half and get the full package into the grave. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Well, let's perforate that stuff, shall we? Well, yeah, because Goldspan just trades off and dies. So let's perforate it. Assimilation Aegis. That's Oblivion Ring, but also they can make a creature a copy of it. Whenever it becomes attached to a creature, make the yeah. So they can equip one of their creatures to make their creature a 6/5 cube. All right, now I can Goldspan. Actually, the Goldspan treasures mean I can pop the Mind Stone here. For sure. Okay. They go to 8. Board state looks really good for me right now. Okay, that's a real double-edged sword at this point. Because they have the cards engraved forever after. Well, they just have a Toby engraved. They could tutor their whole deck. Well, tutor the bottom half of their deck for free. I think Demonic Pact for free. Yeah, I don't know if I want to Razor Demon here. I mean, lethal in theory. Here we are. Oh, the Avacyn? Okay, now I can Shieldred and just kill the Avacyn. Post-combat. That's pretty nasty, though. Good one. Let's say goodbye to the Avacyn. Oh, the Smuggler's Copter combo, too! Oh, shoot. Totally forgot about the Thopter. This is really gross. At least I can equip the Everflame so that I don't lose any creatures to the Avacyn flip. No! Fairy. Oh!
Let's take it back.
It's all running away from me because G-dang to Fairy. Oh, this Razor Demon is so uncastable. They just trade Avacyn into Bone Crusher Giant and then attack with Overlord, and I can never win through an attacking Overlord. Well, might as well have fun. Since we have lost, let's just see what they get with Razor Demon. Freaking Teferi, man. Oh, they're just gonna ever after Toby, sure. Okay. Well, then I've got some draw steps. And of course they're drawing 2 cards a turn because Teferi, and as soon as they're at 3 loyalty with Teferi, we're dead, but I've got draw steps.
No time for a break.
Okay, that is super bad. I need to top deck removal that can kill an Avacyn then. It's pretty much my only out now. That cannot kill an Avacyn. Man. Force the Avacyn Chump. But then Overlord attacks and they have multiple flying blockers. I can kill one with Drown. I'd have to top deck another removal spell here. Alright, so we force Avacyn to Chump. And that forces Overlord to attack. Oh. Okay, I couldn't do what I wanted to do anyway then. I'm just doomed, period. Because I had to then put the equipment onto Razor Demon, attack, don't move it back, so Overlord gets to attack and survive the attack? Yeah, there's no shot then. Yeah, and we're top decking Sheoldred, because Teferi put Sheoldred back. So because we know what we're drawing, we know we just can't win there. Alright, well, that line was incorrect, but the game was unwinnable at this point anyway. The correct line was to sit here and do nothing the entire game until we die, which is tragic. Sure, it doesn't have a life loss ability on there. No. 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage. Feels pretty dead. You counterspell me too? I sack Toby here. Can't believe it's all the frickin' Teferi again. This game was going so well until Teferi showed up. When will you leave the cube, old man? Teferi ruining games since 2016 or whatever. 4-2, heading into game 7. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 7. Pretty sweet looking hand here. We need to draw lands, which is the sketchy part. Got 3 5-drops in it. But we have the early removal, the early Ophiumancer to keep us alive. We'll see how it plays out here. But I certainly do not want to end up on another Mold to 5. That was brutal. Alright, that's not a bad draw. 2 mana removal spells now. If I had to draw another 5-drop, that'd be the one. Hello, Magda. I cannot wait for 5 mana, so I'm just going to kill that. Because we have no guarantee of drawing a mana source every single turn. So far, so good, though, hitting the mana rock. Gix, you're also going to get killed here. Maybe not when I draw into Damnation. If I'm going to draw into Damnation here, I kind of like the Ophiumancer trying to hold things back with the Death Touchers. And at the very least, this is going to get them to blow some removal before the board wipe. Okay, Tiny Bones. Okay, so I need another black source specifically. Which is awkward. Yeah, Gix's ability is important enough. I think I have to drone an Iker. I just don't know how long it's going to take to hit another black. Cool. They can play permanents from our grave rights. They can play the Harvester if they get to 5 mana. On-land permanents. Okay, they don't have the mana to... Okay, well, since they killed the Ophimancer, they could kill the Snake and then cast the Ophimancer, but then our board wipe is pretty good again. Okay, that's too expensive for them to cast anything. Which is nice. Yeah, things are to go really, really well here if we just find the swamp. So they're almost out of cards. That's not the swamp. I'm gonna have to long goodbye the Tiny Bones so that they don't cast any of my stuff against me here. So they actually have to dump their hand instead of my graveyard. Yeah, because then they just get to go Preacher plus Ophimancer for the turn if I get hit by Tiny Bones. But this way they have to go Preacher, and then if they have another 3-drop in hand, play that as well. Okay, that works too. Now I don't have to cast the Long Goodbye. I always forget Discover is just even more powerful Cascade. Where it's like, oh, they just draw Blood Chiefs there, so it's like, that wasn't a good Discover hit. And then they put it in their hand, I'm like, wait, they could just keep it. That's kind of nasty. I guess it was. Not like this. Would hate to get the third loss like this one. But these are quite obviously not the draws we're looking for. It's board wipe or bust at this point, either way. Swamp. Oh my god. It's a red source. Wow. Alright. Tragic draws for the final game. There were only 3 red sources left in the deck. And tons of black. Yeah, like 8. Does Glorybringer survive? Glorybringer doesn't even survive. Yeah, if we just cast one of these and pass, they kill it with Blood Chief's Thirst, and if I cast the Glorybringer and attack to kill something, shoot Nemesis, it shoots me for 4. And then Carnosaur is also already lethal. Man, what a sad way to lose out on it there. Some really rough mana draws. 4 and 3 it is. Pretty rough losses all around. I think this deck was pretty excellent, as we saw with the win streak at the start. But the Multi 5 was disgusting. And this game, drawing a bunch of red sources off of just the all red sources start in the first place, was really rough. I mean, not only that, but we drew a bunch of double black cards to go with the lack of black sources to punish us even harder. Yeah. Not much you can do there. I guess I could have mulliganed more aggressively, but we saw how that played out in the Molda 5 game. I already don't remember the second loss because my short-term memory is terrible, just in general, but especially when I'm recording. But I don't think there was anything we could do in the second game either. But maybe second game is where we made some big misplays somewhere that could have turned this into a 5-2, and you never know from there what other matchups we'll get. Maybe get the full win streak from that point on or something. Oh yeah, second game we got to Ferried hard. Don't remember any super pivotal points in that game that could have gone much differently. but I could be wrong. 4-3 is still a pretty good record. Sadly, though, it's down 1,000 gems in the cube draft. They charge you a lot for these because people really enjoy them for some reason. I prefer just regular draft formats, but I know that all of you really, really like cube, and the cube drafts always get a lot more views than especially core set drafts. I don't think anybody's going to be watching the core set drafts that I record. But if it were up to me, just playing what I enjoy, I would just play the core set this whole week instead of any cube. I wouldn't even touch it. Not that I hate cube. I just like regular draft formats better with the set number of like commons, uncommons, and rares and everything instead of just hyper power mush all the goodies. But I'm getting a bit rambly here at the end, so go ahead and wrap it up. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.